Uh, okay, hi everyone. I'm like low-key nervous. I feel so shy. I feel like I'm on a date right now. I'm nervous to be on camera right now, but hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about Sabrina Carpenter. As you guys probably already know, Sabrina Carpenter has released her new album cover for her upcoming project Man's Best Friend, and many people are simply not happy.
It is not satirical. It is tone deaf.
We have people saying that the album cover is highly offensive, it promotes misogyny, abuse, and sets women back decades. And on the other side of all this, we have people who think that the album cover is great, it's satirical, it's deep, and that many people are just missing the deeper message.
Oh, is that the cover? That's really clever. Good for her. And then I read the comments. And we're very much not on the same page, me in the comments.
And we're gonna break all of this down today. The new album cover, her music video, what everyone's saying, and how I feel about all of this. So, the Man's Best Friend album cover shows Sabrina Carpenter in a short black dress and black heels on the floor while a faceless man is holding her hair like a leash. Now, a lot of fans perceive this particular image as satire, claiming that Sabrina is just reclaiming the submissive trope through this messaging and title. It isn't meant to glorify harmful stereotypes, paint women as pets to male partners, or to center the male gaze like other critics are saying. So let's look at both sides of the argument. So first, I wanted to look at the people who find Sabrina Carpenter's album cover to be positive, who see it as satirical, people who say that we're just not seeing the full picture, and people who say that we need to wait for the entire project to drop in order for it to make sense.
So my initial reaction when I saw the post about Sabrina Carpenter's new album was, wow, is that the cover? That's really clever. Good for her. And then I read the comments. And we're very much not on the same page, me in the comments. So Sabrina Carpenter on all fours with a man holding her hair, to me that immediately screamed dog and leash. And at a first glance, I guess I see why a lot of people were like, that's degrading. I went to, okay, she's being a dog. People say that dogs are man's best friend, which is the name of the album. A female dog. What's another word for a female dog? A bitch. The album cover is portraying how men call us bitch. And you swipe to like the second slide in the post and I was like, oh, that just confirmed all of my suspicions. Nice, clever, good metaphor. And then when I saw that point explained to a couple of people, I saw them then trying to justify their dislike of the album cover by saying it was satire that landed poorly, but I really think she was just trying to do a metaphor, a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action in which it is not literally applicable. Women are not literally man's best friend. Men call us bitch. I was just so Occam's razor with it. I was like, oh, that's the simplest explanation. That's gotta be it. And then I opened the comments and read like think piece after think piece. Then I was like, okay, you know what, Sabrina? Good marketing team. She's got a good team who considers a bunch of angles and a bunch of aspects. And they probably knew how a bunch of other people would have interpreted that, even though I didn't realize it at first. But that's why they're on her marketing team and I'm not, okay? They were like, you know what? That's gonna spark a conversation. That's good press. You know who else they did this to? Britney Spears when she released I'm a Slave for You. I watched them do this to Britney. I'm a millennial, I remember. I just really don't understand why people are shocked that a straight woman is showing herself doing something non-PG in nature with a man when the majority of the music that she's put out recently is in fact about her doing things that are not PG in nature with a man. I think a lot of it for people is like in her previous albums, she was like a little more tiptoey around her metaphors, like I might let you make me Juno, camaraderie, and this is much more direct than people are used to seeing, but this might be her transition into something a bit more direct in that topic. We haven't heard the album yet, folks, so like maybe like let's take a breath and give it a minute.
That's what the internet needs, another take on Sabrina Carpenter's album cover, but as someone who comments on pop culture for a living and who has studied it in school, I wanted to add my 2 cents. I feel like a huge element of this image that people are forgetting is agency. Sabrina Carpenter is a female pop artist who makes music for women. She talks about sex and relationships in an empowering way. So when she's putting out an image that seems completely counterintuitive to that messaging, I have to ask why and consider it in context of who she is as an artist and what message she's trying to convey. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Sabrina says that for this album, most of the lyrical content is about disappointment in relationships and all the different shapes it takes. I think it's a celebration of those who let you down. I think it's clear that her intention for Man's Best Friend is to poke fun at men who have this expectation of women in their relationships. Just like Manchild pokes fun at men who let you down in a different way. Personally, I think there's no way that this song is going to be arguing for this type of treatment of women, given that this album is basically a celebration of all the ways that men have fucked up. If Sabrina Carpenter had spent the majority of her career serving the male gaze, degrading herself or other women, or was making music to serve a male fantasy instead of a female fantasy, absolutely yes, this image would be different in a different context, made by a different artist. While we can argue whether or not it landed all day, there is nothing about who Sabrina Carpenter is as an artist in the past, in any of her lyrics, that would prove that she supports the traditional values or the imagery that is happening here. It's definitely going to be the same type of satire that Manchild is. But yeah, independently, this image is not great. It can't be divorced from who Sabrina is as an artist and what her voice is.
Now, how do you feel about these points? Are these people just making excuses for Sabrina just because they like her? Is it easier for them to not find this offensive because she's not fat, black, brown, tall, or queer? I don't know. Let's take a look at what people are saying who see this as a negative message. Like, I'm talking a major setback for feminism.
When we're talking about Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover, title, and the new Lolita style music video, it's important to acknowledge that there is a direct tie between internal misogyny and racism. First of all, none of this would have happened or worked if Sabrina Carpenter wasn't white, blonde, blue-eyed, tiny, the figure that men want her to be and women want to be so that men want them. Had this been Lizzo, had it been Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, Camila Cabello, none of it would have worked. Suddenly, the inner feminism would have came out of your chest and you would have been in the comment section saying how this was degrading. And that's because internal misogyny is tied to racism. If a white man likes it, so do you. And I'm not talking purely to white women, though this is mainly to white women. But there are also women of color. There are also all genders, all sexualities of people that are going to be behind this. So if it was a woman of color, the internal white man in you would have rejected that.
So as you guys have seen from all of these videos, there are a lot of very strong opinions. Like we saw the opinion suggesting that misogyny and racism wouldn't allow us to view this in such a positive light if the woman did not look like Sabrina Carpenter. We have a lot of people saying that it's not radical enough. We have a lot of people saying that her imagery caters too closely to the male gaze, especially the white male gaze. And in fact, one of the grossest things about this is that a lot of people have found that some of the imagery that promotes the album cover is similar to Lolita imagery. And if you guys don't know what Lolita is essentially a story about pedophilia. This man is like attracted to like super young girls, and he sets it up in a way where it's like the young girl is like kind of the one at fault and she's provoking him, and he writes the story in a way where he ended up convincing a lot of consumers of this crap that the girl was actually seducing him this whole time and had them feeling empathy for him and all types of shit. I just know the summary of it and I just know it's gross, and people were comparing the imagery to that story and to imagery from the movie and all of that, right? So yeah, that's really gross. And Sabrina actually did end up responding to this. You know, she said that she had never seen the movie, that it's never been on her mood board. She would never have that on her mood board. And, you know, she seemingly kind of shut that down. So I just wanted to let you guys know that she shut that down. Sabrina's actually like kind of been I can't speak. Sabrina's actually been clapping back a lot about a lot of the things that people have been saying about her, like, does she have a personality outside of sex? She said, girl, yes, and it is good. We can't deny that Sabrina Carpenter, well, I can't deny, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I can't deny that Sabrina Carpenter is really funny. I think she's really funny. Anyway, so the Man-Child music video might have helped to explain a lot of what the album cover couldn't, and that's just my opinion. And I think if you watch the video and don't see any sort of satire and deep messaging behind it, you might just not be able to analyze art critically. And that's not me trying to be condescending. I've seen people say that there's nothing satirical about this album cover, and I can kind of understand where they're coming from when they say that. Like, please realize my opinion has nothing to do with whether or not I like Sabrina Carpenter. I just feel like when people say the same thing about the video, they're just reaching at that point. You might feel like the album cover is not satirical. I think that could be like more so open. Well, they're both open to discussion if we're being honest. They're both open to debate. But in my humble opinion, the album cover, the criticism for it makes more sense than the music video because the music video has a clear message to me. The whole video is an exaggerated version of what happens when you jump from relationship to relationship expecting it to take you somewhere, because you can see her hitchhiking trying to get somewhere. The whole video is her trying to get somewhere, and you really just end up right where you started. I also thought it was clever that she kept asking why the man-child always kept running to her, but she was the one seeking them out each time, feeling miserable, but always ready to find the next one. Like, even to the end of the video, you see her run out of one car and get into the other one. Like, girl, what do you think is going to happen? Literally the same thing. And it's a big part of it is because her mindset hasn't changed. A big part of it is because she won't leave that environment. She doesn't believe in herself. Even though she's supposed to be the bird, she won't allow herself to fly. She would rather hang on the coattails of a loser. So I think that video was supposed to be a big joke. I don't think, like, yes, Sabrina Carpenter is gorgeous. Yes, she is white. Yes, she is tiny. But I don't think that that negates from making like clever work. I thought it was a clever and fun video. I think a lot of the times the issue is expecting political messaging from someone who might just be a freak. Like, is Sabrina Carpenter political, or is she just letting her freak flag fly? Like, is she just a pretty white woman who likes to make music about being a freak? Like, is that all? Is that because, that's not all her music is about, but it is a lot of her branding, and maybe that's just what she likes to do. Maybe she doesn't care about you. Like, maybe she just doesn't care. And I don't understand why we're gonna get up in arms about that. There are plenty of people who don't care. Why? Uh, okay. Someone said that Sabrina Carpenter's fans are the worst because they ate up all the sexual innuendos in songs like Bedchem and Juno, but now they want to draw the line at her album cover.
Sabrina Carpenter has got to have the worst fan base in the fucking world. Because what do you mean that the girl first started out making very regular music, fully clothed, right? And y'all paid her fucking dust. Like, y'all damn near demanded that the girl have to cosplay prostitution in order to become a mainstream artist. She does that. Y'all eat it the fuck up. But now, all of a sudden, she's come out with an album where the cover art is a picture of her on her hands and knees with a dude standing above her holding her hair. And now y'all don't like her no more. That's where y'all draw the line. I'm talking about, oh yeah, well, now she's catering to the male gaze. Are we talking about the same Sabrina Carpenter? The girl has literally always catered to the male gaze. Like, whose gaze do you think that she's catering to when she's crawling on her hands and knees on stage? Because it's fine when she does it on stage, but it's not fine when she does it in the cover art. Like, whose gaze do you think she's catering to when she comes out on stage wrapped in a towel and then rips it open for the crowd so they could see her little skimpy, leotard one piece? Whose gaze do you think that she's catering to when she's on stage posing in different smex positions and bouncing up and down, simulating her riding a D? Because it's not like she's up there simulating scissoring somebody. It's not like she's up there pretending to eat a cat, right? She's up there bouncing up and down like she's bouncing on you-know-what. Whose gaze do you think she's catering to then? I mean, the girl is like a mix of like cosplaying prostitution and cosplaying a 1950s housewife. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know when y'all believe that she was like this deep philosophical person with these like super deep lyrics. The girl kind of just talks about how tiny and like desirable she is all the time. I'm not saying that she's never like come out with a song with some true meaning, because I know that she has. She's catering to the male gaze just as much as like Marilyn Monroe did back in the day. Like, the girl's been catering to the male gaze and selling smex ever since she realized that's what she literally had to do to get y'all's attention. Because hard part y'all don't want to admit is a lot of you girls also don't view women as human beings. Y'all also view them as a form of entertainment. Y'all talk a lot of shit about men. Like, we talk a lot of shit about men and how they don't view women as human beings, right? But a lot of women also view women as a form of entertainment. And y'all pay female artists absolute dust unless they're selling smecks. Which is why damn near every single female mainstream celebrity feels as though she needs to sell smecks in 2025 in some form or fashion to stay relevant. That's why we have artists in their damn 50s who have never smexualized their performances before, you know, going out on stage half naked all of a sudden. You know, dropping the shoulders of their dresses, you know, peeking, letting people peek up their dresses. Like, y'all literally set the stage and now y'all are mad people are on it. Like, it's just crazy to me that y'all have ever convinced yourselves at any point that Sabrina Carpenter has not been catering to the male gaze. I don't care if she calls boys slow in her songs. Like, she's Sydney Sweeney without the soap. I'm sorry to tell you. Beautiful woman, right? I'm not hating on her at all, but she recognized what y'all were wanting from her, and now y'all are mad because she's leaning into it. And it's like, y'all keep going on and on about like, oh, she set women back 100 years. I don't know about y'all, but I still have my bank account. I still have my paid off home. I still have my own car. I can still come and go as I please. Like, pro tip, but if a man is telling you that he now no longer has respect for you or any other woman in the world, strictly based off of the cover art of Sabrina Carpenter's new album, I'm sorry to tell you, but he didn't have respect for you in the first place. That man was just looking for a reason to tell you.
And for many people, it's not about the sexual innuendos because, yes, a lot of the same people who enjoy Bedchem and Juno are in an uproar about this album cover and the music video, too. But I think for a lot of people, it's the idea that this was a bad choice given what's going on politically and socially right now. Well, for one, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but then again, I kind of love it. But y'all do realize a lot of what's going on right now and a lot of what has been going on is mainly affecting people of color. Like, a lot of the shit that we deal with politically almost exclusively affects underprivileged people or people of color. And look, a white woman may throw you a caption, well, most white women, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's like everyone, but most white women, most people who see something happening that doesn't affect them may throw you a caption every now and again, but to make their creative body of work reflective of shit that has nothing to do with them, a lot of people will not do that. And a lot of times, let's face it, a lot of things that are happening in this world are not affecting white people. Like, they don't care. They don't care. And I understand that a lot of white people are now trying to like hold each other accountable. And I don't have a problem with that. But I think that Sabrina Carpenter, I don't know why we're expecting it from her. I'm just a little bit confused as to why we're expecting it from her. Sabrina Carpenter from the very beginning was meant to low-key give Marilyn Monroe, Britney Spears vibes. You know, like those are the types of women you can tell she's inspired by. And these women's idea of sexual liberation stopped at that for the most part, being sexy. And yes, there was every now and then somewhat of a take that patriarchy element to their work, like in Britney's I'm a Slave for You or Oops, I Did It Again. If you listen to the lyrics, there is a little bit of a punch in there, but it's always packaged in a very pretty package. But it's always packaged in a very pretty box, even when there's blood spilling, like in Feather or Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. There's a whole lot of fuck yous to men while simultaneously looking very good, which men enjoy. So, doing something that men will enjoy while telling them something that they might not like. And this is a big part of the reason why people claim she isn't radical enough, is because of how she looks. Now, is there something inherently wrong with the album cover having no meaning at all? Like this girl said, art, especially in this day and age, can be very spineless. It could literally just be what you're looking at. Is that inherently wrong? Is that inherently wrong for her art to have no meaning other than that it turns her on or that this is one of her kinks? And is it like a form of kink shaming to require more of her than just to like share that with us? I don't know. I know that to a certain extent, feminism has to do with us holding each other accountable, But does feminism also involve telling women how to express themselves creatively? Like, is there a time and place for politics? I understand that a lot of times we say that everything is political, which it is, but it kind of takes the enjoyment out of life when we will require of ourselves or of each other that everything that we do is some sort of political message. Sometimes a girl just be freaky. And don't shoot me. Because I feel like the Sabrina Carpenter conversation is very sensitive for a lot of people, especially with this album cover, because abuse is a serious topic. And, you know, the imagery that Sabrina Carpenter's album cover is being compared to other images that came out around the time of the promotion of this new album. The things that some of her imagery is being compared to extremely sensitive, and sometimes I wonder if that could have something to do with her team, if that could have something to do with exploitation because of how she looks. I'm a little annoyed right now that I didn't do more research on the deal that she's in, because I feel like if I did that, I could have gotten a little bit more insight on what's really going on. Yeah, I don't know. I really, really want to know what you guys think about that, because a lot of people are saying that it's anti-feminist to suggest that a woman's creative work should cater to all women as a whole, or that a woman's creative work should always be political. Um, it's our responsibility as women to do what men have to undo what men have done. Or, you know, it's like the thing with, like, you know, if you are a person of color, especially a black person, a lot of times in our community will be like, oh, we're done, like, we're not doing anything, this is not our responsibility. Like, there's just this thing where it's like the oppressed become responsible for, like, fixing what the fuck happened. Like, we didn't do this. Why do we have to fix it? Like, let them fix it. But then at the same time, if we let them fix it, it won't get fixed. So I definitely understand both perspectives. And if you can't tell, this conversation makes me like a little bit uneasy because of the fact that a lot of people feel triggered by it because of, like, the whole abuse element and grooming element. Like, people have said that she's obsessed with being tiny and she's obsessed with looking like a little girl. Like, she said that, I forget what exactly she said before, but she was like, but I look like a Nina. And I think that is kind of weird. I'm so grown, but I look like a Nina. I think that is kind of weird to like infantilize yourself. And you know, I've also seen a lot of people saying that any woman who questions our authority over Sabrina Carpenter and like, is this even our business? Like, maybe she's just kinky and maybe we shouldn't be policing her, and all the identity politics and stuff needs to stop. I've seen people say that taking this perspective is just an attempt to out woke people, and it's like, bro, I don't like the saying woke, because I feel like it gives people this like idea of like self-righteousness. Like, you gave your opinion and then somebody gives theirs. That doesn't mean that they're trying to outwoke you. Like, that doesn't mean that they're trying to prove that they're like more righteous than you. Maybe they truly just believe that you telling somebody else what they should be doing is kind of wild. Like, it is kind of wild. Like, if somebody's not making a political statement, then, you know, I don't know. But I do think that there are a lot of nuances to this conversation, and I don't think I could see it as black and white, which honestly that's how I am for most things. It's not always going to be cut and dry for me. Okay, side note though, guys, I realized that I've been like reading my chart and getting really into my astrology, and there's a lot of Taurus in my chart. And then I was like reading a lot about Tauruses and like especially people with the Taurus in Mercury. Mercury governs your communication and all of that. And tell me why. It was saying how I like to ride the fence with a lot of things. I like to play devil's advocate, but it's because like nothing is that simple, and people love to be like, I'm right, you're wrong. And it's like, it's never that simple. It's really never that simple. And I think it comes from like operating so like ego forward that it's like it's so easy for you to be like, I'm right. And as somebody with a lot of Taurus, I do be feeling like I'm right a lot, but I catch myself so fast because, not to toot my own horn, but I feel very grounded. Anyway, that's enough of that. I feel like certain imagery and artistic expression can very well be tone deaf. Don't get me wrong. I feel like just because you're doing something creative doesn't mean that you cannot be tone deaf and that you cannot be causing harm. Especially depending on what's going on socially. Because again, that's what a lot of people's issue is. But that doesn't always mean that it was done with the intention of reinforcing an ongoing issue. And I feel like, yes, people like to say the impact is what matters, the impact is what matters. First of all, I think both matter. Come on. Like, don't say the impact is what matters and just pretend like intention doesn't matter too. It does matter. It's seeing the bigger picture. I think both the intent and the impact matter, but I also think that the importance we place on celebrities and their stances has a way higher impact than the stance itself. And I'm always gonna say this, and it always goes back to stop idolizing these celebrities. These people are individuals, and at the end of the day, not liking something that they do is completely normal and 9 times out of 10, completely harmless. In so many cases, it's a non-issue that you don't like what someone did. Artists who deliberately make music for vulnerable and impressionable audiences, such as children, just to feed them harmful rhetoric or to just be creepy, like Miranda Sings, for example, are the types of people, in my opinion, doing a ton of harm to the world using their creative expression. So when I see the argument that Sabrina is leading young children astray, I feel the need to remind people that their children and what they consume is actually their responsibility. Like, even for the Miranda Sings situation, all of that, like, that's still your responsibility. But Miranda Sings was like literally like marketing to kids. So that's like very different. Sabrina Carpenter is clearly not marketing to kids. Like, if you just like look at a couple pictures before any of this happened, even, why is your 15-year-old there? Why is your 15-year-old there? When I was younger, my dad let me listen to like Mariah Carey and Beyonce and stuff like that. But would he ever let me go to one of their concerts? And it wasn't even at that level. I mean, she was wildin', actually. But you know what I mean. So, I don't know, guys. Do public figures have an option when it comes to being political or not? Technically, yes. But a lot of times their fans just won't let them. And I get it because it matters. It matters. I get it. But there's just this perceived relationship with celebrities where I think people feel morally fucked up when they listen to someone and then they find out that that person did something that they don't like. And again, I'm not talking about people hurting people or people being fucking gross, people being pedophiles. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about Sabrina Carpenter being a grown ass freak on her album cover. It's entirely possible that that's what's going on. It's entirely possible that that's what's going on. She's been reenacting threesome. She's been telling y'all over and over that she's a freak, and I feel like a lot of people just liked when she was their type of freak, the type of freak that they accept. Now, I don't want no man pulling me by my hair now, so that's where I draw the line, Sabrina. I've actually experienced that in a violent way, so that's where I draw the line. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are saying. It's like now it's triggering them. But before, it might have been triggering someone else. And it was. It was. It's just you now. And now you're up in flames about it. But I want to hear what you guys think about all of this. Um, did you guys watch the Man Child music video? Have you guys seen all the perspectives on TikTok? Let me know. I can't wait to read your comments. Please leave this video a like. I noticed that a lot of you guys love to comment, tussle in the comments, even if you dislike it, whatever, fuck it, leave it a dislike, but engage in the video in any way that you can, and share it with a friend, let your neighbor know about it. Of course, subscribe if you feel like it, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Don't get used to this. I had to do a makeup look. I had to help my cousin with this thing. She was doing this assignment and she needed to do multiple makeup looks, and I just had to like help her do this and take a picture of it. And I messed up the eyeliner here, but oh shit, but you can't really see it in the picture, but right here it looks cute, right? I don't know what I was going for. I just like purple, and this right here is actually blue, but you can't really see it. But yeah, you guys, that's why I have a full face of makeup on and my skeleton t-shirt. If you know, you know. I've had this t-shirt for so long. It's the most comfortable thing. I got it from Shein, who will never get my money again. But this is the most comfortable t-shirt, and I love it. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!